Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and the Avengers, issue number 15. All right, man, look at Sarge over here. Let's talk about we're gonna rip up your She-Hulk comic books. That's pretty much what he's saying. Y'all remember that cover from the She-Hulk way back in the day, right? All right, so let's get started on this comic book. We got The Battle for the Throne of the Damned by Jason Aaron and David Marquez. David Marquez, excuse me, that's my bad. That's the writer and the artist, respectively. Eric Arcianega is on colors, and VC's Clayton Cowles does the letters. The covers by David Marquez, got it right that time, and Justin Ponser. The variant covers by Gerald Parrell. Carlos Lau is the graphic designer, and of course, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee created the Avengers. So Thor is barely in this one, and it's a great way to keep him out of combat. Because, Thor is just going to come by and wipe the floor with these freaking vampires. I mean, you'd think, right? You'd figure. So the only way to really... And Tony Stark is probably going to have some kind of a sunlight grenade, just, what do you call... Oh, actually, you know what? Basically, yeah, his unibeam in his chest. Absolutely, he can do that. Definitely. I think he's going to pull something out of his butt. There's no need to. He's going to pull something out of his heart. So, what do you call... Everybody else decides to fight instead. Blade actually isn't very much use in this. He's just about to get his head knocked off. Carol Danvers, for her part, she really just plays the point of a punching bag in this. She gets into 2 fights in this comic book, and both times she just goes slamming or getting thrown out of a freaking building. She just has no chance in this. These vampires, they're tough as nails, but adamantium nails practically. Problem is, these Avengers, they just don't have the chance to really get back into play. Now, it is kind of annoying and a little bit unrealistic to me that there's Captain America and Black Panther right there, and they can't seem to get their head in the game enough to get the Avengers into some kind of a proper gameplay. I mean, it's a little weird for me, especially Captain America. This dude should just be able to think on the fly. And it's like, okay, this, and this. Even if they're not going to win. I understand if they're not going to win. But there should be something there was just like, okay, we need this. All he's doing is calling for the big guns for backup. That's not Captain America, dude. There was a funny moment here where Sarge, the Hellhound, goes and says, can I take a bite out of this guy? All I smell are pharmaceuticals. Nice. He can smell the super soldier serum. That's pretty funny. I actually chuckled a little bit. A little offended, but that's okay. We're in the age when everybody's offended at everything. So, Ghost Rider and the Hellcharger get taken by these vampires. They get controlled. Ghost Rider specifically gets controlled. And he goes out and he's got to prove himself by killing a bunch of vampire kids. Does he do it? Read the comic book. Stark, in the meantime, shows that Black Panther isn't the only one who can go stealth mode on people. All right? He turns up and he's like, oh, hey, check this out. I got stealth armor! And he breaks in to a Russian facility in order to have a conversation with Dracula. That was interesting. Guys, I'm going to take you right to the very end of this conversation where he gets punched and doubled over and humiliated by the Crimson Dynamo. And he has to call in while about to puke to the Avengers and has to tell them, he has to be short and quick because he can't talk very well. And somebody's like, hey, it sounds like you just got punched in the stomach. He's like, yeah, Iron Man out. He just... We're about to get a hell of a storyline, though. At least I hope so. Because Tony Stark just got some news by Dracula about his father and what he's willing to surrender for immortality. Guys, this is one of the sickest Iron Man tie-ins that I've ever heard of before. This is real talk at this point. They could finish this up in the Avengers. I say screw it. Let it get finished up over in Iron Man. I'm not too particularly proud of the stories that I'm reading in Iron Man right now anyway. So with Jim Zub jumping over and helping out, wouldn't it be great if he had to deal with the results of what he just heard from Dracula here in this comic book? If he had to deal with that stuff over there, woo! That would be a hell of a comic book to read. That's sick. Guys, a lot of stuff happened in this comic book. The Avengers got their butts handed to them. That's all right, whatever. It felt a little unrealistic that Captain America and even the Black Panther couldn't mount up the slightest defense. That was kind of weak, in my opinion. But whatever, it's just my opinion. But the story that was just started with, what's his face, Tony Stark, I hope that that continues in some way, shape, or form across some comic book title, because that is just funny. And I don't mean that in a good way at all. Stark just got literally like, boom, everything you thought you knew was a lie. So this better not end right here. Anyway, still a really good comic book. Enjoying this. There's probably 2 more issues in this arc, and then it's going to catch up legacy number-wise with the Avengers No Surrender. That review will probably be out next. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.